Hi friends, today's lesson is 5-4, which has us graph polynomial functions, locate their zeros, and then find the relative maxima and minima of polynomial functions. As an example, I'm going to do number 22, financial literacy. The average annual price of gasoline can be modeled by the cubic function f of x equals, and I'll copy that in a second, where x is the number of years after 1987 and f of x is the price in dollars. So let me write that for us. Okay, now what I'm going to do is test some values. So I plugged this into my calculator. When you get ugly numbers like this, let's assume that we're allowed to use our calculators. And so now I'm going to say trace at 0. Well, I don't even need to do that. It's 0.96. And then I'll trace 5, enter, and y would be 1.0975, and then trace 10, enter, and y is 1.06, and then trace 20 and get 2.56, and then 30 and get 9.66. So let's just plot these points. So at 0.96 and then 1.09 still down there, 1.06 down a tiny bit, and then 2.56. Now we got something. So we're up to 2.56. And then maybe I didn't choose the best scale. I just wanted to include even the value at 30, which is almost 10. And so I get something that just kind of hovers and then woo, takes off. And we saw it went down just a tiny bit over there. And so what else do I know? 22 asks me to graph it and then describe the turning points and its end behavior. So what I see is from here to here it's going up, and then from here to here it goes down, and then here to here it's up again and still up. And for a cubic I think that's enough. So my next question is the turning points are, I see the graph going up from 0 to 5, down from 5 to 10, so there's a max probably somewhere around x equals 5, and then it goes up again, so there's probably a minimum somewhere around x equals 10. Okay? And then the end behavior, as x approaches negative infinity, it doesn't make sense. But as x approaches infinity, okay, as x approaches infinity, y approaches in positive infinity. So that's some end behavior. And then what trends does it suggest? And the trend would be that it went down a little around 10 and that it is going up and up and up. Now, last question, is it reasonable that the trend will continue indefinitely? And I'll say two things. The first thing is I can see gas getting to $9.66 a gallon, but I can't see it continue, because if I tried f of 40, well boy, at that point, oh, error, invalid even. Let's see, if I quit and then I ask to trace at 35 even, it's because I'm out of my mode. So let me just quit, fix my window, and Xmax at 50, and then graph it. And then I'm going to trace at 40, trace 40, and let's try that again, trace 40, and y would be, so at 40 I'd get 26.56 per gallon. That's getting pretty expensive. That stops making sense, doesn't it? Now let me pause a second. Alright, so if you've stayed with me, I've taken almost 5 minutes of your precious time. So I'll just conclude saying we've got a max around x equals 5 at or near, okay? And then a minimum near x equals 10. Is that what I said? Yes. And then those are the key things, and so I'll let you get to work. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.